The story of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley starts from the letters that Robert Walton, a character in the novel, writes to his sister about, and how he came across a man named Victor Frankenstein, and Victor starts to tell his story on how he's on the search to find his creation. Victor grew up in Geneva, Switzerland. He had a great love for science. This love started when he found the ancient works of an outdated alchemist. His father gladly helps him make his way into university. When he attends, he has to be shown the new modern way of science, but easily masters all that his professors have to offer. Since he knows so much to modern and ancient science, he decides to try and find the secret of life. The ancient teachers of this science promised impossibilities and performed nothing. The modern masters promise very little. They know that metals cannot be transmuted and that the elixir of life is chimera. But these philosophers, whose hands only seem to dabble in dirt, and their eyes to pore over the microscope or crucible, have indeed performed miracles. They penetrate into the recesses of nature and show how she works in her hiding places. They ascend into the heavens. They have discovered how the blood circulates and the nature of the air we breathe. They have acquired new and almost unlimited powers. They can command the thunders or heavens, mimic the earthquake, and even mock the invisible world in its own shadows. Victor has become successful with creating life, but soon regrets it and attempts to run away. While he is making his way back to Geneva, he comes across his longtime friend Henry Clerval, and is told that his younger brother had been murdered, that he knows for a fact the creature killed. Throughout the book, Victor tries to run away from his creation, while it keeps attempting to kill his family. He comes face to face with his creation, and it speaks. All the creature wants is to not be hated by society and his creator, and would like a companion so they can run off into society and live together. Victor does not follow through with the plan, and Frankenstein becomes angry and murders his family, especially the love of his life. If I cannot inspire love, I will cause fear. The creature runs off, and Victor spends the rest of his days trying to find Frankenstein. The story ends with Victor telling Robert Walton to tell his story to the world. Throughout the novel, there are many tone shifts. At the beginning, it's very exuberant. In the middle of the novel, it was complex. And at the end, it became very despairing. When reading the book Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, a theme I can easily find is the destructive power of love. Frankenstein, the creation, is hated by the world, and he understands that he will always be. So he begs Victor to create him someone to spend his days with, and they can be separate from the world and live together away from society. What I ask of you is reasonable and moderate. I demand a creature of another sex, but as hideous as myself. The gratification is small, but it is all I can receive, and it shall content me. It is true, we shall be monsters, cut off from all the world, but on that account we shall be more attached to one another. Our lives will not be happy, but they will be harmless and free from the misery I feel now. Oh, my Creator, make me happy. Let me feel towards you for one benefit. Let me see that I excite the sympathy of some exciting thing. Do not deny my request. Henry Clerval is one of Victor's longtime friends, and they are in fact foils to each other. Victor has always been sad and worried. As to Henry, he has always been happy and joyful. By the end of the novel, we see Henry experiencing happiness, while Victor feels sadness for the loss of his family. We see this when Victor says to the reader, "The delight of Clerval was proportionally greater than mine." There are very strong biblical allusions in the novel. Victor is the creator of Frankenstein, and all Frankenstein wants is another creation to be with so they can live together away from others. This is much like God and how he creates Adam, and Adam receives Eve and they run off. Frankenstein tries to compare himself to Adam in this quote. Like Adam, I was apparently united by no link to any other being in existence, but his state was far from mine in any prospect. He also starts to compare himself to Satan. Many times I consider Satan as a fitter emblem of my condition, for often, like him, when I viewed the bliss of my protectors, the bitter gall of envy rose within me. A symbol explicitly stated in Frankenstein is books. Books have been what opened the imagination of characters in this novel, like how Victor discovered his passion for science and how he took that to create Frankenstein, or like how Frankenstein is understanding his own life when he comes across in books. But Paradise Lost excited deeper emotions. I read it, as I had read the other volumes which had fallen into my hands, as a true history. Paradise Lost is a book from the 17th century. We can also consider this a biblical allusion. A connection that can be made is from Romeo and Juliet. Oh, I am fortune's fool. Romeo has done wrong and sees that he's full of misfortune and that life has been cruel. This relates to Frankenstein because in the last chapter, Victor's on his knees, looking towards the sky, saying the creature that he made has become his misfortune and that he himself is fortune's fool for even creating Frankenstein.